Welcome to POSTCAST. David Locke along with Ron Boone as the Utah Jazz defeat the Houston Rockets behind a monster historic night from the finisher, Lauri Markkanen. And we're talking about it coming up on POSTCAST. Thanks very much for tuning in to POSTCAST. The Utah Jazz win their first game after losing 5 straight, sending the Rockets to their 6th straight defeat. The story, Lauri Markkanen's 49 points tonight, Ron. A new career high, only the 4th player ever in the history of the Utah Jazz to ever score 49 or more in a game. Donovan Mitchell did it twice in the playoffs in the bubble. Karl Malone did it 6 different times in his career. Adrian Dantley, your good friend, did an incredible scorer, did it a few times as well. Truck Robinson and Pete Maravich did it for the New Orleans Jazz, but only the 4th player in the history of the Utah Jazz to ever score 49 points in a game. And Ron, he was just marvelous. But I think what's most interesting is you go back to pregame, and I asked Will Hardy in the pregame, how has he evolved as a scorer? He's averaging 24. He averaged 27 in December. He's averaging 30 in the last 5 coming in. He's now blown that up. And I said, how is he evolving as a scorer? And his answer was he's learned how to read a game and evolve inside of a game to learn how to score. He did it tonight, scoring a multitude of different ways and different styles throughout the game.
Yeah, anytime you get to the point, and I know we use Luka as a perfect example because he's probably one of the best in the league at recognizing a defense that's thrown at them and then, working around that. And Markkanen is getting there, but the advantage he has, he's 7 foot. And he doesn't have to do it with crafty dribbling, spin moves, or anything like that. He just takes advantage of picks, takes advantage of his height, and he uses picks that are taken that are set for him very, very well. Don't speed him up there as well, David. I mean, he's very comfortable now in his offense.
We're seeing him get the ball in a bunch of different ways. So one is obviously the catch and shoot 3, which is just a remarkable skill to have at 7 feet tall. And the thing about him that's worth noting is when he came to the Jazz, everyone said he was a good shooter. The fact is he was an average shooter. He was 36%. That's average. It's good, but it's not like it was almost as though he was labeled a better shooter than he actually was because he's 7 feet tall and he was unique and he didn't do a lot of other things. So we're seeing the 3-point shooting. The other thing, though, we're seeing is Will Hardy bringing him off the wing as an off-ball player and cutting on these tight curls off players. And he's so big, so strong, and so agile when he gets it. It's almost impossible for someone to stop him and guard him.
The difference here in field goal percentage, especially when you're considered to be a good shooter, is the layups. I mean, when you can get to the rim and get some layups there as well. And that's what I'm seeing. Probably when he was in Cleveland, maybe with Chicago, he had the reputation of being a 3-point shooter, just a jump shooter. Now he's getting to the rim. So if he has a bad shooting night from the perimeter, those layups are going to make that field goal percentage look a lot better than just being a jump shooter.
The third one is he did play some pick and roll where he's able to pick and pop, he's able to pick and slip, he's able to do all sorts of different things in that pick and roll. If he's playing at the center, the floor is wildly spread. We don't play him much at center. I frankly think as the Jazz become a better and better team over the years with Lauri Markkanen, he's going to play a lot of center. In fact, if I have my guess, 3 years from now, my guess is the 48 minutes of center are 30 minutes of Walker Kessler and 18 minutes of Lauri Markkanen. And that he's a pretty good rim defender. He can switch defensively, and then if you've got 4 shooters around him and he's playing pick and roll, and you switch, he'll kill you because he's 7 feet tall.
I agree with that, but they're going to have to pick teams that they would like to do that with. And then now you got 5 out. I mean, to the point where you got 5 guys out there on the floor that can flat out shoot the basketball. You see so many centers now. Jokic, use him as a perfect example, that can take you away from the basket, and he can also take you down in the paint there as well. But the advantage you have at the center position is being able to play the pick and roll and be a pick and pop player there as well.
So the final one is the free throws. And It's really pretty special right now. I believe he's 59 of his last 60. I think he's 39 straight or something like that. Those aren't quite exactly right numbers, but they're awfully close. When you can go get the line 13, he's been the line 13, 15, and 13 the last 3 games, and he's made all of them.
Yeah, you don't get fouled basically just shooting jump shots. Now he's putting the ball to the hole. He's trying to rebound there as well. And that's how you get to the free throw line. I mean, he's just doing so many things right for this team. And I really think he wanted to get 50, but I thought Conley was dribbling just a little bit too long. and didn't give him the opportunity to get the kind of look that he wanted. To
the Rockets were double teaming him at that point,
Yeah.
like literally not guarding Mike Conley, trying to not let him
give it to him anyway.
Here's the thing that amazes me the most about him, just from a big picture. I mean, tonight, the versatility of how he scored, I think, is the story to me. But the second one, Ron, is the fact this is really his first time as a primary scorer. And we've talked about it a lot. In the second year, they gave him the ball. He really struggled with it. And then for whatever reason, they never gave him the ball again, which is just the weirdest thing. We're going to go to Chicago, and that's going to be the story for the next 2 days. Here's Lauri Markkanen coming back to Chicago off 49 points, who gave up on him. Like, it's a stunning failure of a franchise to give up of a guy on this level of talent. But the thing that amazes me the most about this season, this is the first time he's been the go-to guy. He's getting better as the year goes on. Usually what happens is you're the go-to guy for the first time, and the scouting report gets out on you 15, 20 games in, and you start to struggle. He's getting better and more efficient as the year goes on.
His confidence level is definitely there. And let's back up a little bit at the beginning of the year, maybe 10 games into the season, when we finally realized what the Jazz had in him. And being in some of the coaching meetings, and Monty Williams, Phoenix, and some of the coaches, and they asked him or a lot of the other coaches about Lauri, and they said that they saw something in him during the
Finnish national.
Yeah, the national games, and he's a different player. And so I was wondering, listening to that, so we have some of the best coaches in the world in this league, and what did they see in him over there to let him play the way that he played over there, that we didn't see in him here in this country?
Well, I'd say two things. One, appropriate, and one, probably not tactful. So one is, I think in Finland it was necessity because he didn't have other players to play with.
Mm-hmm.
And two, we have some of the best coaches in the world. I'm not sure that Lauri Markkanen has had the best coaches in the world prior to coming here.
Great point.
All right, the other story of the night is Ochai Agbaji, who scores 11 fourth-quarter points and hit 3 threes, and we talked to him post-game. He was so happy. He was so cute. He was so happy. Such a great kid. That was really nice for him to hit those shots and to be able to make those plays. And he got 18 minutes. We'll let him run it out a little bit. Malik Beasley also had 19, worth talking about. And Mike Conley, who just makes such a difference, went and had 3 straight assists to Ochai Agbaji as well.
Yeah, a couple of and those 3-point shots there from the corner. Boy, you could just see he was excited and he was glad to get those open looks. He got 18 minutes tonight, as you just mentioned. I think his season high is 21. I was hoping that he could get it, but he just had one good night, and it looks like he's going to be in the rotation here to see if he can get it going.
Few rotation notes of interest tonight that I do think are really important. One is Taylor Horton-Tucker played instead of Nickeil Alexander-Walker. He had 4 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists tonight. The other is they changed the way they were using Mike Conley. So Mike Conley, with Rudy Gobert the last 3 years, has played, or the last 2 years, the first year he didn't play exclusively with Rudy. The last 2 years when Mike was best, they moved him to 3 short stints in the rotation, 5 or 6 minute stints each. He then would match Rudy Gobert. Remember the Jazz second lineup, second team they would crush people when Gobert and Conley were out against second team. Mm-hmm. This is the first time all year in which the Jazz played Mike Conley in 3 stints again tonight. He ends up with 9 points, 11 assists, 4 rebounds. He looks super fresh late. And the idea is that he, at this age, might play better in 5-minute stints than he does in 8 or 9-minute stints. And maybe that will help the Jazz closing some games. Night 1 of this experiment seems to be successful. And, frankly, Mike played 70-plus games last year. Like, they did a pretty good job of keeping him healthy with 3 stints as well.
Yeah, he still was able to get 31 minutes tonight. Now, just looking at the starters, other than Olynyk, all played 32 or more minutes a game tonight. Lauri with 36. Even the guys coming off the bench, Beasley was the only one that played over 20 minutes for the guys that's coming off the bench.
And the final question, Lacey wants to know why you're not wearing your hoodie. Your finisher hoodie.
Yeah. Where's yours?
I wore it on Locked On Jazz today already.
I have it. I should have had it on because it's cold in here.
All right, 2 stars.
Lacey, ask her who is Lacey.
Lacey. Hi,
Lacey.
Lacey's awfully nice. She's a very good loyal listener. 2 stars tonight, Ron.
Well, I don't think Lauri should be one of our stars.
Really, Ron? Yeah, really, Ron. Really. Good, because that would leave so much validity to anything we're ever doing ever again if we didn't give Lauri Markkanen 2 of our stars. The only question is whether Lauri Markkanen gets both stars and we go home, or whether we want.
That sounds good.
Or are we giving Ochai Agbaji a little love for a star tonight?
Yeah, let's do that, because I'm very happy for him in 18 minutes that he played tonight. 4 for 5, 11 points. He made reference to the 4 fouls. I had 4 fouls, but you can't get pushed around out there. You got to be a little physical. And some nights you're going to get caught, and some nights you're not. So that's a good choice. Conley could have been that as well with 11 assists, and I kind of like those 3 cents. And being fresh really makes a big difference for him, I think, late in the ballgame.
Well, the Jazz get a win. Let's go to Chicago, see if they can do it again. Chicago knocked off Brooklyn last time out. So we'll see whether or not the Jazz can handle the Bulls, and then we'll head to Memphis on the really brutal back-to-back with Memphis having had 2 days off beforehand and being the fastest team in the league. So how about we go get Chicago?